Okay, everybody, no talking. So I'm in teacher mode now. I'm gonna show you guys how. Just stop for a second. 10 minutes, okay, and just watch what I'm gonna do right now, okay? Shoot, I'm kind of like, whatever. Here we go. So first thing I'm gonna do is I need to get an eraser. Okay? Why? Why do I need to get an eraser? What do I got to erase? Grid. So look up here. In this little bin right here, I got these erasers. Okay, so here we go. I got these erasers right here. It's a small eraser. Hey, shh, no talking right now. Okay, so I got these little erasers. I got to erase first. I got my paint here. I'm ready to go. Now, what I did was I got 2 reds because the magenta gets really close to matching what's here. But sometimes we need a little bit of this warm red. This is a cool red, warm red. All right. So I'm put my paints aside. And what you guys want to do here, I'm going to get in pretty close. Before you guys start painting, we got to erase the grid. So I'm just going to go through here really quickly, get rid of the grid. And so I'm going to probably erase some of the my drawing lines, but that's okay. Okay, here we go. So go through. Now, acrylic paint's opaque. Well, some of it's opaque, some of it's more opaque than others. Now, I didn't put a lot of detail in my drawing, but I have enough detail that I can paint this portrait. So you guys might want to put more detail in, like the eyes, the nose, the mouth, like. Now, I did put in the most important stuff here, which is the division of light and dark. So this line right here, if you follow, look up, follow this, see where my tip of my brush is going? This line that I'm tracing, this is the division of light and dark, okay? And we have our primary light source pointing in this direction and a secondary light source coming in this direction. So we have, and if you think back to basic fundamentals, the box and the sphere and the cylinder. Will you close that door back there? Close that door back there. It's distracting me. So we have our highlights and our halftones in the lights here. This is our shadow area right here. Okay, all this. So we have our core shadow going along here. Core shadow is the darkest part of a shadow on an object. And then we have our reflected light right here. So we have a little bit of reflected light right here, which is a warm light also. So we have warm light over here, and this is the reflected light is a warm light as well. And it gets cooler in the shadow in here. So what I suggest that you guys, what we're going to do first is you do this. you paint in the dark values first. So we're going to write that down. Star. Paint in dark values first. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to get you guys started. I'm not going to complete this thing, but we're going to get started. And here we go. We're not, once again, you don't have to finish this today. You do need to get started today. All right. So guys, I guess the only thing that's due is the color studies. We got to get this started. So I'm going to be walking around at the end of the class and see where you got to. Okay, I got my water, I got my paint, I got my water, I got my rag. So I'm going to go like, what color is this? How am I going to mix this? And so this dark value, there's oranges in here, there's reds in here, there's kind of some violets in there. And I'm like, okay, what we need to do is our objective. We're going to paint the dark values first, and we are going to match the colors. We're going to match the colors and the values. You hear me? Match. Here you go. Nice and close up. Match the colors and the values. That's what you're being graded on. Okay? So here we go. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to mix up a neutral red. I'm going to get some of the regular red. I'm going to get some of this magenta here. And I want to neutralize this. I'm going to go, I think I'm going to need a little black. I'm going to need a little brown. Now, what's most important, and put a little yellow in there. What's most important is matching. If you can't get the color exact, that's okay. If you match the values, then you're doing good, okay? If you match the values, you're doing good. The values are more important than matching the exact color. And I'm like, where am I putting my palette here? All right, so I got a little brush today. This is like a number 4 or something, I think. But it's a smaller brush. And I'm just going to go right here. And I'm just going to take this one color and I'm just going to put this down here. Okay, so magenta, some of that burnt umber. As you're painting, hey, don't talk. Shh, no talking right now. As you're painting, little magenta, little yellow. As you're painting, my eyes, what I'm doing is I'm looking here, looking at the reference, looking at my painting, looking at the reference, looking at my painting, looking at the reference. So you're constantly looking at your reference. It's getting a little more yellowy down here. And when you're painting, you're just pulling the brush. See, I'm just pulling the brush. I can pull it to the left. I can pull it to the right. I'm going to put a little white in there now. Just a touch of white down here. And I'm just going, okay, where are my lighter values? Now, at this point already, I'm starting to look at the background now. And I'm like, the background's important too. Now, your background mine has a lot of detail, but the detail doesn't matter. We just need to put in very simple areas of color. And I'm kind of get ahead of myself, so I'm just gonna like, I got some magenta, some burnt umber, and I'm gonna put in a touch of black, just a touch. And I think that matches. See, I'm like, oh, and a little bit of yellow, back a little bit of yellow too. And so I can hear, hey, shh. So I'm guessing, guys. Right now, I'm guessing. I'm going, does this color match? And then I go, okay, there's a little purple. It's a little purpley, so I'm adding a little blue because my brain just said, oh, that needs to be cooler. So I'm adding a touch of purple, just a little bit of paint at a time to get a temperature shift. And the cool thing about paint, if this is your first time painting, and then I'm going, oh, this part right here, this is more orange. This is more purple. So that's more orange, so I can mix in orange now. And I'm not rinsing my brush. I just go from like, now I'm just getting a little yellow, get a little magenta, and that makes an orange, a neutral orange. Because I have purple in there. And then I can paint over, then I go, oh, I need a little bit of white. So I get a little bit of white. I'm gonna add that, just a touch. And that probably needs to be more orange, more vibrant, but I'll go back to that in a minute. And then I go, the background right here, this is a dark shape. It doesn't matter like, oh, it's a file cabinet, it's this, it's that. But I just go, oh, this is a dark shape. So I'm gonna paint in a dark shape there. So I'm just gonna go white, black. So that's a dark shape, that's a dark gray. And I'm going to paint that in, and I go, oh, that's not dark enough. So I need to put a little bit more black in there, a touch of burnt umber, a touch of blue. So pulling the brush, I'm constantly pulling the brush only when I'm mixing. And when you're putting paint down, you're constantly testing. You're testing the color, you're testing the value. And then I have this dark color over here, and then I'm like, okay, well, I also have that similar color over here, and it's touching his face right here. So I'm gonna put a blob of paint there. And once again, what's important here? What's important is matching the values, which is more important than matching the exact color. Okay, and I see it's really dark brown here, so I'm gonna... So how do you get a dark brown? You guys know how to do that. If you don't, get out your color studies. Basically, dark brown, you can go, we go orange and blue. Orange with a touch of blue makes brown. You can also go cheat a little bit and go, okay, I'm gonna get a little burnt umber in there. But orange with a touch of brown makes or orange with a touch of blue makes brown. Orange with a touch of blue makes brown. Okay, so that way, I want you to mix your browns that way first. You know, and then if you need the burnt umber, then you can go ahead and tap into that, but you know, you don't have to. And for beginners, and this is a smaller painting and I'm using a smaller brush, I think it's gonna help you guys. Okay, so now that I have brown on my brush, what I'm gonna do is I've established most of the dark values of the face. They're not matching exactly, but it's close enough. And you can always change those colors to match better and the values to match better. And so I have brown on my brush now. I'm going to go ahead and go into the dark values of the hair. So I got this brown. I'm going to add a little bit of black. And so what I do is I brush, pull the brush like this, and then I go like this. Watch. I kind of spin the brush. In this area, you can see I've blocked in all these areas. Well, I've separated the dark values of the hair from the light areas of the hair. So I'm going to block in these dark areas of the hair. And I'm going, okay, so that, now, I'm getting black and I'm putting some red into it. So it's a red black, okay? Or you can call this a dark red gray, okay? One thing I didn't have you guys do was tints and shades. But a shade is basically you're taking a color like red and you're adding a little bit of black into it, okay? So that's a shade. And then a tint is when you take a color like red and you add a little bit of white into it. Or you start with white and you add a little bit of red into it. So I'm mixing this red, black, because black, when you guys see black, it's not just black, okay? When you guys are looking at a black, when you are looking at a black, I want you to ask yourself, what temperature is this black? Is this black a cool black? Or is this black a warm black? Okay? And then if it is a warm black, you're going to mix in yellow or orange or red. If the black is a cool black, then you're going to mix in green or violet or blue. You got that? Process that. So what I'm doing now is I got a little bit of magenta and I got a little bit of yellow to create hair color, the lighter hair color. And what I'm doing once again is I'm pulling the brush and I'm spinning it. So what temperature is your black? What temperature is your gray? And if you don't know the temperature, okay, if you're like, I don't know if it's warm because you're a beginner, I don't know if it's a cool, then what you're going to do is you're going to guess. You're just going to guess. You're just going to go, I'm looking at this, I have no clue. I'm just going to guess that this black is a cool black. Or I'm going to guess that this black is a warm black. And you're just going to mix in a warm or a cool color into that black. Okay, so I'm blocking in the hair here. Blocking in basically means you're just putting in the big shapes of that thing that you are painting. So I want you guys, if you're not looking yet, if you're not looking at what I'm doing, what I want you to do is I want you to look up briefly. Look up. Can you see already that that by putting in the dark values, the portrait is being established? Okay? I got a kind of a messed up brush. See, the brush is splitting, but it's working good enough. But you put in the dark values, and that's going to establish the foundation of your painting. Do not paint the light values first, okay? When you guys get pro or you're more well versed in painting, then go ahead and you can do it however you want. You guys are beginners, so trust me. Paint in the dark values first, and your paint is gonna get it's gonna start reading really quickly. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go back to, okay, check it out. Look up here really quick. See how this brush is doing this? That's super frustrating because brushes should not spread out like that. So I got to find a brush that's going to have a really nice point. So I'm going to So you come back up front and you get a brush, and I'm guessing, check it out. I think this one might be good. I'm hoping. If I need to, I'll open up a couple new. Nope. So I'm wetting this one, and check it out. See how it's spreading too? That's why it's really important that we only pull the brushes. Because I got to get a really sharp edge right here. Or clean edge. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go a little bit of white, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of magenta. Okay, but I want to make this dark. A little bit of blue, more red. So I'm going back to yellow. I'm going to get the red, not the magenta, to mix in this orange. And I want a dark orange. So I'm going to go the burnt umber with yellow and red and magenta. Okay, burnt umber, red, magenta, and that should be my color that I need. Okay. So what I'm doing here is, check it out. I'm spinning the brush to get a nice point. And I'm being really careful. That's why I'm not talking. I'm being really careful along this edge. That separates the light and the dark. I need a little bit more blue in there to cool that down. And think of colors as cool or warm. Cool or warm. Is it cooler? Is it warmer? Is it cooler? Is it warmer? What's the value? Is it light? Is it medium? Is it dark? Okay, see. Spinning my brush. See, check it out. Look, I'm pretty stoked on that. Okay? That's turning out pretty good. And I haven't painted in any detail. And see, it's starting to read as a face. Okay? Because I'm being careful where that light and that dark separate. That's a cast shadow from the hair. I know I'm going over my 10, 15 minutes that I said, but oh well. This is necessary. And then, so I'm recording this, which is cool because you guys can go. I'll post this. I'll put this in the assignment, and then you guys can go back and you can listen to the explanation. But a lot of it is just, I think, just going for it, you know? All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to block in the background now. Backgrounds are important. I'm gonna block that in. I kind of don't want to right now. I'm just like, okay, I think I want to. There's so many different directions I can take this. Okay. So I'm gonna go blue, and I'm gonna go magenta, and I think I need to go magenta. I need to make a violet, and I'm gonna put a little bit of brown in there, a little bit of burnt umber, and I'm gonna test this. Testing this color, seeing what it does when I put it down. And I'm pleased with that. It's a little vibrant, so I think I need to neutralize it. Put some burnt umber in there, put a touch of black in there. So now I'm going to try that again. I made it a little bit darker, a little bit more neutral. Testing this color. Testing it, you're putting it down in certain places, and you stop and you observe what it's doing on the paper. So when my brush stops moving, okay, like right there, I'm looking at my reference and I'm checking, I'm going, how is that working with my painting? Does that look correct? Are those values correct? Are they not correct? Do I need to warm that up? Do I need to cool that down? Do I need to make that more orange? Do I need to make that more pink? Do I need to make that more red? Like, what do I need to do? And the more that you guys look at the reference, and the more that you look at your painting, the more that you're going to start to visually comprehend and understand what you need to do. And what colors you need to put where, and what values you need to put in certain places. And so I'm pretty stoked. I'm like, okay, I'm getting that. I need to do a lighter orange. So I rarely rinse my brush. By doing that, by just not rinsing the brush, you get like more natural, neutral colors that are gonna work with your painting. That's way too bright. That's Command Z right there. See, I went like that. It's too light, and then you can like scrub it out with your finger. Little Command Z. Okay, so that's getting there. This time I am going to rinse my brush. So I got this cool color on here, this gray violet. I'm going to rinse it. And on the shoulder there, he has this really warm orange skin tone. So I am going to rinse my brush. I take my rag, squeeze the brush. I'm going to get a little white, get a little yellow, get a little red, mix an orange. And that'll be a really bright, saturated orange. But on his trapezius right there, his neck, it's not saturated. So I'm going to put a little burnt umber in there to desaturate it so it's not super bright, and I'm going to try that out. And let's see how, that's too red. I think that's too red. All right, so there's an orange. Let's test that out now. So I put that down, and I go, all right, that's pretty close. It's pretty close. And sometimes you just go, you know what, that's close enough. That's close enough. So we got that reflected light coming over. It's on the top of the clavicle here. All right, let's put a little bit more red in there. Touch more red, a little bit more pink. And I'm going to go a little bit of magenta. So I'm using the red and the magenta. And I go, okay, that's even better. And I could probably do a touch more red in there and a touch more magenta. And a little bit of burnt umber in there as well to neutralize that. And just a smidgen. Smidgen. And really soft brush strokes. I'm not pushing down really hard. I'm just like barely touching the surface with the tip of the brush. So don't be pushing down hard. Like if we were doing a big painting, I would say go ahead and like slop the paint on. But we got to be more delicate here and more controlled. Dude, I'm really enjoying doing this shadow stuff, man. Okay, so okay, that's part one. There we go. I'm gonna leave it at that. That's all for now.